Welcome back to Factorio building the Hyperbase. So, let's put that armor in for a second so we can clear some stuff out. As promised, this episode we will look at building the low density structures. Let's have a look where we are. We're over here. I have built out, and well, this one actually has bots as well, but I haven't activated the train yet because the bots basically are taking too long to build, so they weren't all ready. So there's bots in this one, but this one is still waiting on bots. If we have a look at our solar, we've already built 3.5 rows, maybe even slightly more than that. Just finishing up this bit, which gives us 186,000 panels for over 11 gigawatts, but I mean, I think I've mentioned it before a few times. Basically, you really only have 40 kilowatts of usable power given the day-night cycle, so 186,000 times 40, it's basically 7.4 gigawatts of usable, plus this if you need it, which you know, we are pretty close to that amount, but there is still a little bit of leeway, and of course we are continuing to build. Okay, LDS. You'll notice it requires 3 ingredients, steel, copper and plastic, and obviously there is one output. So what we are going to do is basically something like this. So that will be our 4 inputs. We would then have a row of roboports. Yes, I've got slow armor on at the moment. Let's swap that back. A row of roboports. It might pay to surround them in these guys, and then I guess basically if this was the one that is going to maybe something like that, and these two would both be unloads then. So that would be 2 carriages. Up here we would then have beacons. Probably not in that pattern, but rather so that's, those two are at the extremes. Okay. That means this guy needs to be up 1, like so, and you'll be doing those. I'm pretty sure, oh no, you do take those. Okay, so you'll have those, and there is room for pass-through. Not that there's intermediate products, but the point of pass-through is so you can share these chests. So there is less for the bots to do in terms of working things out. And of course that leads to another one here. And on this side it's a supply one as well. So we're alternating supply and requests. Steel, copper, plastic. Something like that. And with a bit of luck, the thing will be able to be patterned where's something here I don't need. Not sure what that is, so let's pull it out. That's not quite what I'm after. Might have to do that bit separately. If we were to get this piece, yeah, doesn't look like the placement of the inserters is going to work particularly well. We just have a look at an existing pattern. Yeah, there's exactly one space between the inserters. So, yeah, we're half a carriage out at this point. Oh well. So, then we obviously want rid of all these things. Why don't we swap these guys around for a sec? Seems to have exhausted all of my roboports. Swap them back. Where is a an 820 basically from here? So if we did that, but we get rid of everything except those two, then that should be about the right length. For plastic load, or is it big plastic 1 load. Now just to make sure, I think what I'll do is I'll actually run back and equip some locomotives. Which is quite a long flight back, but that's alright. You guys don't mind. I hope. We're actually probably going to need 4 trains, so I guess I should take enough for 4. 32 locomotives, 80 wagons. Bit of a hike. I had to refuel the main iron train for the big part of the factory and the main copper train for the big part of the factory as well between times. If you're wondering what's going on there, it's just a manual refueling at the moment, which is not all that sophisticated obviously, but that doesn't need it that often, so it will do for the moment while I think of a better alternative. Where are we? Here we are. Okay, what I want is 32 of those. And 80 of those. And they might not all fit, so what I might just do is that. And we'll have a better chance of getting them all to fit. That's probably done it. Alright, let's go. Oh, we could probably do with some more roboports actually while we're here. Do I have any in there? Not so much. Here we go. And back we go. Quite convenient, the storage capacity of this thing. When I do get the faster jet, it will be a little bit of a shock to the system to have to manage on the, because it doesn't have this huge storage capacity, so that will be a little bit more difficult, but sure we will cope. And yes, all the stuff that we need to build still. It's kind of a almost like a game of leapfrog as the power catches up, the power demand catches up to the power supply, and then we do something that takes a little bit longer, so the power supply gets slightly ahead, and then we catch up to it again. I am expecting to ultimately need sort of 50 or 60 gigawatts, and we're only at sort of 10, so there's a lot of life in this game, a leapfrog left. But once we have the solar panels for the satellites built, we can probably divert their production to building our solar power for some time anyway. Just have to remember whether the steel has enough supply for solar panels and whether the circuits have enough for it as well, or whether that's something else that is going to need a bit of attention. Anyway, here we are. Grab a few of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we screwed up something there. Whoops. Let us try that again. I don't even know if this is actually especially possible, but I guess we'll see soon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's an even number of these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 to there. Maybe this was right after all. Big plastic one load. I think it needs to be one further forward. Big plastic one load. All right. Right. Right, they're slightly off, so probably the original position was actually better. Of course, we can't see it now. Not that it... What? Oh, here, yes. Okay, we are still slightly off with our placement anyway. Not to worry. Actually... right, put you there. Grab this up. Oh, we messed that up anyway. Hang on. The whole thing is totally messed up. Alright, so that's the general idea, and we'll get this side right in due course. Now, up here, oh, I've got the top in a different alignment to the bottom. That's obviously no good. Something like that. I want my running guys. So this should hopefully tile. The question is, when we get to the end, how many iterations do we in fact have? Let's quickly count that. 23, I think that's what I want. So, what we want to do then is just finish off this end. Which means that this one should be one of those. Oh, we're out of these guys, of course. To remember I stole one. go. And power. Power could potentially go all the way up there, which would be good. Okay. So, 23. That's about what I wanted. If we do that, and then we take that, we flip it over. The reason we're flipping it over is so that we're alternating the requester and the supply chests. I think that will work slightly better for the bot pathing. Okay. That looks slightly out of line, but I guess it's okay. And obviously this thing here needs to be continued as well. So I think we need, well, we need slightly more than 3 of these, but we're going to have to do 4 as a consequence of slightly more than 3 not really working. And that's why I flick these around, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. Unless this one is plastic, and plastic goes in this way for some reason. Which is not going to work overly well, but if plastic could come into this one. No, that doesn't work. It would have to be this one. Okay. That's slightly annoying. Trying to be too clever for my own good, putting these right next to each other. It's easier to leave the space for the train carriage at the other end. Yeah. Right, let's see what happens if... Need that. If I take that... do that, then I don't want to leave that much room. Is that the minimum? Yes, it is. Alright, we do it that way instead. And it only saves a tiny amount of travel. I think that's going to be more efficient. So for example, this one can be big LDS steel, 1 unload, I guess, something like that. Big LDS plastic, 1 unload, and big LDS copper, 1 unload. If I want the ones there, I'm not sure yet. So we basically want this stuff to extend the length of it like so. There. Like so. And connect the dots. It might be better if that one is plastic and that one's steel though. And then plastic can sort of come in here. Let's do that. Let's make that change. You're now steel. And the idea would be that we have 4 of these in total. So, do I still have this? This guy's too wide. So that's not really going to help. Let's just see what happens. So this is over where the steel is. Now, the other ores, we basically have 1 train per piece, but it's because steel is 1/5 of the productivity. I'm basically thinking 1 train will serve all 4 of these, 1 more for all 4 of these, and that sort of thing. So I guess I kind of want I mean, this could be steel 3-1, steel 3-2, steel 3-3, and steel 3-4. I think all of these guys are... Oh, you have no bots. You have 400 bots. Alright, so we're going to need more bots to make this work. I guess we'll have to do that then. I've set the bot limit now to a pretty aggressive number. I think it's like 4,000, so we should have enough bots to get this next part of the operation happening. Do I have any room in there? I do. Good. Alright. Not sure if we'll quite have this finished and running by the end of the episode, but we'll see where we're at. We probably won't, because getting plastic down will take a while to set up a track for it. Let's have a sip of my drink while we are travelling. Very good. The long trek back to base. Yes, certainly a faster jet is probably going to be one of the very first things that gets made once we have our supply of low density structures. Can't wait. There's a battle jet as well, but that's not really something that we need. Let's just make sure we don't pick up a whole lot of stuff that we don't want. Right, we are after bots. Where are they? Engines. Here we go. Uh-oh, I'm getting bombarded with something. No, go away. 1100. Ooh, and another 1100. That will serve us pretty well. Okay. Let's get back to the steel. So the way I think I'm going to have this work is the steel train will load up alternately from each one of the 4 locations, and then it will return to the beginning, and hopefully that works out fairly well in terms of balancing travel time and smelting time. We can always change that later if it's not quite what we want. So much building sitting waiting to happen. So I think I've got one of these steels up and running in terms of the bots, but not the other. We may actually need both of them. So this one over here has, well, it's got 380 actually. I think I want to give it 400. Okay. That's 350, 400. See how that goes, and down here as well. 350, 400. 350, 400. Oops. 400. So what have you got here? You have 380, 400. Maybe we will put another 20 in here. 400. And up here. Oh. So you've got 400. Down here we have 400 and 400. And this is the copper. We have 800, or 801, 800, 367, 647. Doesn't look like this will quite be enough to get it to 800. So it's at 717, 767, 805, close enough. And you have 312, and I've got no more. Alright. That's fine for the moment. Now, this here is a line for steel. Let's just clear this area of garbage. Now you know it might actually work slightly better if the return came out up here rather than down here. Although it would have to cross this line. Which is slightly annoying, I suppose. I was going to have to cross a line. Better put some signals around here. Wait a sec. This will definitely be going that way, but this one will be coming in. That's right, it will be coming in this way. It's not the way that I want it to be. We've got this round the wrong way, I think. Yeah. Should be heading down here. To this stop here. And then up this way. So that's on the wrong side. That's the right side. So yeah, you're heading down. And you're heading up. You should be heading down. And you should be heading up. Right, that will sort out that side of things. Not exactly how I was thinking it. Because it may now mean that it makes more sense to swap over plastic and steel again. In any event, that is kind of how steel should look. Let's give this guy. Oops. Where's my jet? One, two, three, four. Good. That should be fine. Past the stupid trees. There we go. And fuel. Fuel, and name these stations appropriately. Steel 3-1. Load 3-1 load. So this is 3-2 load. It's going to be 3-3. And 3-4. And for now, you can go to Steel 3-1 load until inventory full, then go to Big LDS Steel 1 unload until inventory empty, and then do it with Steel 2 and Steel 3 and Steel 4, Steel 3 dash. And this is probably why I don't want to label the LDS as Steel 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably just change it to LDS Steel so that they can kind of slot in anywhere on the LDS stack. One more. Inventory full. Whoops, not there. There. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Guys, I think we're going to have to leave it here. We can pick it up again in the next episode, but that's the general idea for our steel. So yeah, see you next time, guys. Bye bye for now.